Welcome to another season and another episode of the Latina Leadership Series. My name is Angelica Casares. I am your host, and today I'm kicking off the season with Yvonne, Spoiled Latina. So we and you have been friends
Yes.
for so long. It's been, oh my God, years when we first started
I
doing
think
all of
it's
this.
10 years. I would like to say it's at least 10 years.
It's been 10 years. Dang,
Yeah. So
dude,
this
it's
might
been a
be our
while. It's been a really long
awesome.
time. Um, so to start off this whole thing, I need to before we jump into different conversations, I want to talk about your big project that you're working on right now, the big thing that you're doing right now, which is your what would you call it, like a conference? I know you call it a Spoil Latina Day, but what is it? What does it consist of? Like if I bought
So
a
it's,
ticket today and I didn't know what it was, what would I experience if I went?
oh my gosh, you would experience magic, honestly. I feel like that's what it is. In 2015, the city recognized me, the city of Houston recognized me, and they honored me with my own day. And I was celebrating my blog 7 year anniversary at that time. And I was like, okay, I want to celebrate my blog, and everything that I've been doing. So I did that. Well, little did I know that I was going to get a proclamation. I guess they were giving them out that year or whatever. they gave me,
No.
they gave me a proclamation, and yeah, it's July 9th is Yvonne Guidry Day in the city of Houston, and so what I was thinking about doing, and this is how I met you, go to different conferences in Miami, LA, New York, and seeing brands connecting with the consumer, right? Which is us going there, and we were at these branded events. I thought it was really cool. And me being from Houston, I'm like, why is this happening in my city? Like, I want to do that. So we came up with Spoiled Latina Day. It was basically just a day for women, my community, the people who follow me online, to get together and to meet each other, to network, to other women that look like them on stage. We talked about mental health. We talked about like being your own boss, and literally, I think these topics have been happening since 2016 when we started the conversations. It's just a safe space for women to come together, but it's fun. It was just one. You pay one price for a ticket, and then you eat, drink, meet a lot of people, ultimately exchange money with the next person, right? And so that was 2016. There was about 75 people there. Fast forward to 2021, which was last year. There was 350 women there last year. You were in attendance. Um, and every year it's grown. Like I said, the very first year was 75 people. Last year was 350 people. And it was out in Conroe. So it's about an hour outside of Houston. People still drove out there. And we had like an amazing time. And it was open bar, there's food, there's drinks, there's activations, there's small business vendors, and I curate like these vendors that are women owned small businesses who have their own goals, and so I just feel like it's my duty to share my platform and even my network with other people because we all have dreams to accomplish and goals we want to meet. So if I can help by sharing my platform with others and for others to invest in coming to my event and having a grand old time. Literally, it's going to be amazing this year. It's 2 days. We're at the C. Baldwin in Houston, downtown Houston, and it's a beautiful women empowerment, like geared event, hotel. So once you walk in, you just feel empowered, like reading different quotes on the wall. So we're 2 days of the conference this year. It's brought to you by Beauty by HEB. Beauty by HEB is like means so much to me. I used to work at HEB as a young girl, so like them investing back is like a big deal. How we cry. And then Bocanas is the liquor. They're my official spirit sponsor for Spoil Latina Day. Also, we're gonna have drinks there. Chico is there. We have Slingshot as also. This is the second year they're going to be a part of it as well, along with the Chico. Um, they're doing rides around downtown. So, have you ever seen a Slingshot car? It's a three wheel vehicle, and we're going to be driving downtown in the Slingshot. I think last year was different because it was more on the property, but this year we're downtown Houston. I don't know. There's just so many like different special things, and I'm still talking to brands about like how they can connect with the consumer there, like how it can be impactful. So it's really cool to see the growth and like, thanks to the community of people who go and help like amplify the event. I think that's really what shows that we're doing something different in Houston, you know? So I think it's really refreshing for me when I get these messages. It's like, your event is so different than others, you know, and they really feel they're connecting with like other Latinas, you know, and other
Mhm.
multicultural women because Houston is the most multicultural city in America.
Can I be
So
honest?
yeah,
I don't see it as a woman empowerment. Like I never felt empowered. I felt at home. Like it just felt part of
yeah,
like who I part of was. It's just it is like it is it's different and it but it's the
yeah. It's
same,
not an
but it feels
empowerment even.
home.
I
It
know.
feels like home. It
Yeah,
feels like I'm part of like it's 2 day event where you're just kind of well the one day the event that I've gone to this time is 2 days because this time is different, but the one day events that I go to, I just you're just there hanging you're hanging out one, but you're getting back so much more. Like
yeah.
I've connected with so many women at your events, even the one you did online, the one you did that was completely it was
Virtual
through like
because
the
of
app.
COVID.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
through the app and I was like meeting girls. I don't remember. I think the two girls that I met were from like Chicago. They were young or something like that. And I was like, how did y'all? I was like, hi. They're like, so anyway, it doesn't, it's an empowerment, but it just feels, it's different. It's different
Yeah.
for sure. I'll say that it's different. It feels like you're with your friends that you haven't hung out with for a while and you're just looking forward to it every year. You're like, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
back and I'm gonna talk to some girls and I'm gonna get to know them and I'm gonna go home.
And then follow them online and like, you know, and just kind of connect online, right? And
Yeah,
build a
yeah,
relationship. Yeah, that's how it is. When people ask me to like, can I go alone? I'm like, of course. Like people are looking to like make friends there, you know? And it's cool because everybody is like minded. We're all trying to, like I said, we all have our own goals and we're all trying to do something and we connect with that person that can help us, you know,
yeah,
get to the next level. Or you know, if we need branded shirts, we might meet somebody that owns a print shop there. You know,
yeah,
there's so many things that you could that come out of it, and that I've seen so many things happen outside of Spoiled Latina Day or the summit now.
yeah.
Um, because I see it online. I'm like, oh, they met there, and now they're like exchanging money, and it's really cool to see. So,
Yeah, it's cool
but
to
yeah,
watch the community like make money with each other. That's part of the goal.
yeah,
My God, that's part of the goal. So if them brands, if you can jump on board, we'd like to make money with you too. You we
yes,
got what you
please,
need, and you have what we need.
yes. For real, we're spending dollars where the dollars at. I'm just kidding. No, but for real, it's true.
It
Like
is. It is.
I honestly, like my very first event that I did in 2016 was a super learning, um, because I had never done anything like that before. I did events and I did the dinners and I did all of that
Mm,
other stuff before, but I never asked for money, you know? So when
mm,
I asked the brand for money and they gave it to me, I was like, oh, shoot, this is cool. Like, and it helped fund it. I
mhm.
think you know that's really ultimately what I'm looking for is to help fund it, help make it impactful, like help connect with the community that spends a lot of money with you guys. So that's
Yeah,
really it.
that spends a lot of money with the Latinas, and there.
Like
Here's
I'm
the
always
thing.
at HEB.
Okay, okay. So here's the thing. Here's the vibe that I want to give. If you want to connect with the Latinas, because I see brands trying to connect with Latinas all the time, and sometimes
Yeah.
a lot of the times they get it wrong. And I'm
Mm.
like, hold on, that's not the way you connect with us, and you're trying to group us. Stop it. If you want to connect, I buy a ticket to Spoil Latina Summit 2 day event. Just go see, check it out, see how it is, and then become a brand sponsor next year. Just FYI.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
No, totally.
FYI. Yeah.
Thank
Or you
you.
can also meet other Latinas that you can like hang out with, and maybe you're like, well, let me test the waters. This is the way to test the waters. Like if you know where we're going, what we're doing, the kind of conversations we're having or not having, and the kind of side conversations that we're having, that's the place to go.
Yeah.
So with that being said, please pick up your tickets. If you're in Houston, if not, fly in. It's at a hotel. Get yourself a
Yes.
room and come meet some great homies. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'm
Yes.
getting my
Yes.
totally Yvonne. I was waiting for them VIP tickets because your VIP tickets sold out so goddamn fast, and I was like, I'm gonna grab one, and then they sold because I didn't know if I was gonna. I'm in Arkansas. Fuck. Okay, so I was like, I want to spend the next weekend, but then we were like going back and forth, and I was like, should I? Should I not? And by the time I was ready to buy it, because I was like, no, I'm gonna be there that weekend.
You're
They're fucking
contemplating.
gone. Yeah, they were gone. I was
Yeah.
like, how the fuck did this happen? So, general admission,
Because
this
it
for me.
happened. You know, I think what happened is that people had FOMO last year.
Yeah.
if they didn't show up,
Ah.
or the ones that
Uh,
knew that it was worth it that have been there are like,
yeah.
we're getting our tickets because we know how good it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like I told you earlier, honestly the general admission ticket is just as VIP as a VIP ticket, so
Yeah.
you're
But
not losing at all.
there's a missing element, okay? There's a missing element with
There's a
VIP.
VIP on the badge. Yeah. No,
So
I know.
anyway,
I get it. I love VIP.
general admission it is. There's still general admission tickets, but before they
Yes.
sell out, please go get
Get
yours.
yours.
Okay.
Yes.
Yvonne, so
Yes.
let's jump back a little bit. How did you start?
Okay.
¿Cómo comenzaste? How did you start this whole Spoiled Latina thing?
So I started blogging in 2008. It was
Mm-hmm.
randomly. It was like in the beginning of like, when did Google start? So long ago, right? So it was back in the 2000s. I was on MySpace, and I had a little following there. And then I was in the music business with my husband. He owns a record label, and so I was helping him a lot in the record label business. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want to just be your wife, right? I want to do my own thing. So Google had just started. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start like my Google page. And I had my very first email. One of my very first emails on Gmail was spoiledlatina@gmail.com. And every time I would pay my bills over the phone, they would start asking me for your email address so I can send you a receipt or whatever. So I would be like, okay, SPOI, I would spell it. And then they would read it and they're like, that is so cute. So everybody was like, that is so cute. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. So, um, you know, and then I started the blog, and then I just started writing about random stuff that I liked, like things that
Mm-hmm.
like I liked, like Beyonce and Jay-Z, or like shampoos or what people were wearing. I was always the friend that knew things, like who's
Mm-hmm.
dating who, like the music, like I was always on trend on different things. So that's why I really created the blog. But yeah, I've been blogging for such a long time now. This year is actually my 14-year blogging anniversary, Angelica.
Holy
14,
shit.
because in 7 years ago I was celebrating my blog 7 year anniversary, and now I'm
Yeah.
celebrating the 7 year anniversary of my
Holy
proclamation. So
shit.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Yeah, so I'm old.
You're that ain't hold on.
No.
The blog is old, okay? The blog is
The
old.
blog is old.
It has
No, but
experience.
yeah, no, but yeah, like I never knew that it could get to this. Obviously, I just was writing about random things, and then brands started reaching out, sending me different things. I started working with different brands full time as ambassador for different spirits brands, and I think that's really where my the brand elevated really like a lot, because I was now connected to this global brand.
Mhm.
um, and and I had a budget to spend on anything and everything,
Mhm.
right? Not anything and everything, but in the hospitality world, you know, I was known as like the it girl. Like I
I
was spending
remember it.
money
You
at
were
the
hosting
yeah,
events. You were
I was
hosting
hosting
events. Yeah. Yeah.
birthdays. I mean, club events. There I was at the bottles. And that was awesome, But
Yeah.
one thing that taught me, and that my old boss, and still I consider her my mentor right now, is, and I always think back at what she says is, if you're going to be working for us, you're already a brand. That's why we hired you. You're your own personality in your city. People know you,
Yeah.
but don't use this job for yourself,
Mhm.
to benefit you. Like ultimately, you're not going to be here forever, which I knew I wasn't going to be there forever, but I definitely use that as a tool. So now everybody that I know from way back then, I still have a great relationship with them. If I ever need anything, my relationship is solid with the people that I met in 2013,
Mhm.
9 years ago, because I was so good. I was there. I was hustling. I was nice. I think that's a very important piece of the puzzle, is being nice, and being respectful to people that you meet. So, um, yeah, I don't even know where we're going, but yeah, I
No,
started
no,
so
that's
long
that's
ago,
I do. I that's
2008.
part. Yeah, no, Yvonne, that's part of the story. I like the fact that
Yeah.
you're mentioning things like being nice consists of them just giving them like I don't know if it's even advice, giving them like a tool, or like even like a small contact, how somebody goes so long. It gives
Oh
them
my
like the
gosh,
energy. You know what I mean?
and I'm so big about connect. I'm a connector. Like I
Hmm.
love making stuff happen for other people.
Yeah.
And a lot, and and I've gotten, criticized for like, oh, you always want to say that you take credit for something or for that you introduce somebody, and it's
But
like,
you
you know what,
do.
I did,
Yeah.
though, yeah, but I did that, so it's okay for me to say that because I'm not lying, and I feel like a lot of people, uh, when you're being confident, they take it as like you're being conceited or you're being cocky, but it's like, no, I've worked hard for everything that I get to say, and that I get to write on my resume. So it's not okay for somebody to try to take that from you. So
It's
yeah,
it's the hardest thing in the
it's
world not to
yeah,
be
and
cocky, to try not to come off cocky, but to come off competent. I'm happy that you brought
yes,
that up because we Latinas have a really fucking hard time with that shit. It's always be
yeah.
humble, be humilde. Um,
Calladita te
um,
ves más bonita. It's like,
yeah.
no,
Oh my
I like
god.
talking and I look cute while I talk. So please, mom. And I say to my mom, porque mi mamá me dice, and my dad told me the other day too. And I'm like, no, you no voy a ser callada. Like,
We get that shit all the time, and it's first of all, as Hispanic, that shit comes up a lot, and then as Latinas, it's oh my god. I've had this conversation where I've had fights with fucking Latino like men.
I really hate it when it's men that have the opinion because they're not, like, they shouldn't be.
Opinionating, first of
Uh,
all. First of all,
yeah. First, yeah.
first of all, who the fuck asked you? Second of all, shouldn't you be fucking echándome porras? Shouldn't you be the one to be like, yeah, oh yeah, like first, like have a fucking I don't know why we're so afraid to have a discussion over things and having people to
Oh,
like,
that's another thing. Why can't we have dialogue?
yeah,
Like, we should be able to have a dialogue back and forth without people getting offended, or people, or maybe they can get offended, but you know, we should be able to respect each other's opinion and keep it moving. You know what I mean? And I think that is also lacking in the men space and the female space. And I think that these are conversations that need to be had. So thank you for having me on
yeah.
to talk about that.
So we do okay. So it's you started there, and I've seen you grow. But let
Mhm.
me backtrack. You're not originally from Houston, but you are from
No.
Texas. You're from the Valley.
Yeah. So I
How was
say,
life like that for you in the Valley? And where did you graduate from? I never asked you any of these.
okay, yeah, I know. So I was born in Corpus. I like to say I was born in Corpus, raised in the Valley, and paid in 713, right, in Houston. So I was born in Corpus Christi. I lived there till I was about 10 years old. Fourth grade, fifth grade, we were in the Valley. Yeah.
What?
My
I didn't
parents
know this.
divorced. They just decided to like split, break the family up, make us. No, I'm kidding. They just decided to do whatever they wanted to do, and we did it. Right. My mom moved. We moved closer to Mexico, the border of Texas, between Mexico and Texas, because my mom was. We just literally drove 2.5 hours into Mexico, and we were at grandma's house every weekend,
Uh,
every moment we
holy
could get.
shit! Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, little girl, I went to school in fifth grade in el Colegio de las Madres in Mexico. Okay.
Shit.
Me mandaron al Colegio de las Madres.
So you're a Broder Town girl, like,
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? I always had like big city ambitions
uh-huh.
because I always wanted to do something different than what like was happening around. Like when I was growing up, or what I saw was, in the valley, if there's a lot of like poverty, and like we weren't like rich or anything. We were
Hmm.
very like humble beginnings. And even still, I feel like I just didn't want to be like normal, have a kid, have three kids, and like live in the valley and all that hot air valley.
It is
It's
fucking
so
hot there.
hot.
It is
It's
fucking
like,
hot there.
it's like a different hot.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, so I did. That's really what it was. And then one year, and I was in 10th grade. We were driving through. It was a 10th or 11th grade. We were driving through Houston, going to. Do you remember when the Olympics were in the United States?
Yeah.
Well, we it was like a long time ago. We were driving through Houston, and I was in the back seat of my brother's truck going to Alabama because we were gonna go watch Mexico play Italy, and Mexico to go watch. We were gonna go watch the soccer games, Mexico versus
Uh-huh.
Italy, and Mexico versus North Korea. I still remember, girl, at the whole Savannah, like Mexicanos. Anyway, so we're driving through Houston, and I'm driving like I'm literally by the place where my office is, by the place that I dreamt of, like when I was driving by Houston. I was like, wow, this is beautiful. I want to live here. I'm gonna live here one day.
Uh-huh.
And so I said that, whatever. And then I went back to the Valley and, finished high school, went to school at Pan Am, University of Texas Pan American. Back in the day, that's what it was called.
Uh-huh.
And then when I was 21, I decided to move to Houston. Well, I wanted to move to Houston, but Mexican families try to make you do what they want to do, right? What they want you to do. So my brother hopped in the car with me, and he's like, "You're going to Austin. If you really want to move out of the Valley and like move out of home, you could move with your sister in Austin." And I'm like, that is not what I wanted to do. So I lived with my sister in Austin for about a good year. Um, and during that time, I worked at HEB
Mm-hmm.
and I worked at DPS. So I was literally 8 to 5 at the Texas Department of Public Safety. And then from 6 to 10, I would go to HEB and work. And I love the fact that I wasn't. I love the fact because I'm from the Valley, and so there's not that much, right? So there I am at Texas DPS thinking I'm the shit, swiping driver's license, and then going to HEB and meeting all these random people that I don't know, like, hey, Pete, how's your day? Pete, just talking to random strangers, which I thought was super cool. I love talking to people. Um, so whatever, I met a lot of people there, and then one day I was just like, you know what, I'm done. I really want to. I was planning on moving to Houston. I had friends. My friends, I would come to Houston all the time. Um, Me and my friend, we used to drive here every other weekend when we were in college, and we would just come out here. And so I was like, okay, I'm moving to Houston. So I moved to Houston, and I was here for a good 2 years before I met my husband, and then yeah, I'm married ever since. So I think that's like a whole nut show right there. It's like I've been married ever since. My whole life changed. Um, but yeah, it's pretty cool. I loved that I was able to get out of my comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah. You're a
Um,
whole like a whole chameleon. I've never known any of this. I thought you lived in you were born in I assumed that you were born and raised in the Valley and that you just came here straight to Houston right out of college. I don't know how I
no,
got that story. I don't know
no,
where
I
I
finished and I went to Austin, and I was like, yeah, I did not want to be here. And then when I moved here, I was like working at a law firm because I thought I wanted to be like in the law field. And so I
Mhm.
was doing law, like I was doing that, and then everybody at the office was like, "You do not need to be in an office environment, like girl. Like you dress like you don't need to. You already dress like you're not from here, or like you don't need to be in this office. Like I was too much to be in an office,
Mhm.
and so even now when I like friends that I knew when I lived. I mean, I worked in an office.
Uh-huh.
They follow me online. They're like, "Girl,
Uh-huh.
yeah, like this is you. This is
This is you.
that. Yeah, like this is what you were supposed to do." And so, yeah, it
So
is. I love the fact that I could do whatever I want.
so if you could estimate or if you could guess or if you could say I wish I would be here, where would you be in 5 years?
Oh my gosh. I wish that Spoiled Latina Summit would be like not just here in Houston, but I'm
Uh-huh.
able to travel with it. Um, because I feel like I don't know if I always wanted to travel with it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Honestly, I don't ever think that far ahead
Okay.
because I don't think that far ahead because I feel like I want to live like in the moment and be present because we don't know when we're gonna die.
Mhm.
And so like I could be planning for something that might not happen, or I don't know, my goals always change.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I
like I don't like to do that. If anything, I plan for my son, but I don't plan for me.
for you. For example,
Yeah.
like some years back I told myself that I wasn't going to be there in Texas. Like I needed to leave. I needed a break, a really big break from like a lot of the things that not even things were happening, but I just couldn't fucking get away and I needed to get away. And so I was like I need not to be there. I don't know where I'm going. I know I need to be outside of Texas and we kept talking about like the craziest places. Me and Juan were talking about
Arkansas.
yeah, right. Me and Juan were talking about Mexico, Canada. Then we were thinking about like I don't know what we were talking about, and then we ended up here. how the
But you followed your son, girl.
I did. Well,
First
he
of
is in
all.
Oklahoma. He goes to school in Oklahoma. So Arkansas,
Oh,
yeah.
oh. Why was I thinking that was the same state? Okay,
Oh
sorry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no. But he goes to school
Was
in
passing?
Oklahoma, and we wanted to be somewhere still near him. So I was like, I okay with Arkansas. I like the space and I like the area. So you're right. I don't plan like 5 years ahead. Even right now, when I asked you where would you be in 5 years, I couldn't answer the same question and tell you where I want to be in 5 years. I'll tell you where I don't want to be.
Yeah, but or maybe I could tell you where I hope. I don't know. I just
No, you know what I mean. No, but
honestly,
I
I
get
just
it.
hope
I
that
get
I'm like still blessed and healthy, and that I still have my mom, my dad.
I hope you
That's
keep
it.
growing, Yvonne. I
Me
hope you
too.
keep growing. I hope you keep doing all the like, yeah, hell yeah, to do all of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. So we know about your background and we know about like donde comenzaste. Estás bien?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, it's okay.
Shit.
I'm a crier, dude. Hold on.
So am I.
Fucking llorona. I need therapy.
Even with fucking therapy, I became over a crier.
Ugh.
So a lot of the conversation that I have here on the Latina Leadership Series is we talk about Latina leadership. So we talk about leadership. Can I ask you a question? And if you don't want to answer, absolutely,
Yeah.
you don't have to. Okay. Have you ever met any diversity, and especially around the Latina space? And if so, what? Not
Have I ever what?
specifically, like like got any like um had like a moment where you had pushback simply for existing in the space and saying that you were Latina. It's in your name. It's called Spoiled Latina.
Yeah.
Have you ever received any pushback? And if so, what did you learn from it? Or what can you, is there any like advice that you can give Latinas who want to be somebody like you, who are trying to aspire to like reach places and metas that maybe they thought they would never receive?
One time that I did have pushback was when somebody tried to tell me not to use my name because spoiled Latinas are non-existent.
Mhm.
We don't. Basically, he basically said like, "Hey, y'all don't deserve to spoil yourselves." That's how I took it, and so I walked out of that office. I left. I never came back, and he's been able to see me throughout the years. You know, I know he does.
Mhm.
Um, it's inevitable not to see spoiled Latina if you're in Houston. Okay. But yeah, so I think that's really what I took out of that is like, no, nobody can tell you like what you have in your heart or what you can or can't do, you know, or
Uh-huh.
what you can't say or how you what you can't or you know what to call yourself or what to identify with. Like I think that's unfair.
Uh-huh.
So so yeah, that's just the one time that I feel like that. But then I also in the space, you know, being a blogger, being an influencer, and going to all these um, conferences and stuff, I didn't feel like, you know, I felt like it was real cliquish and um, I I felt like I belonged, but then I really didn't feel like I belonged. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna create something where people really feel like they belong, where it's not like um, one sided or um, you know, I just really wanted people to feel
Can I tell you, you
like
create that
home.
environment around you that you do, that I don't see you just like a lot of times people tend to gravitate to one space and one area only, and then they stay there. They never really mingle with new people, even though they have the opportunity to do so. Around in your events and your dinners, Yvonne, you do that. You don't just congregate with one person or one group of people. You make sure you move around because and it allows me to be like, fuck, I'm moving around too. Like I'm like I don't know if I'm friends with everybody, but fuck, I at least I would want to get to know them.
Yeah, I was like, at least like when you're standing at the bar and turning around, and yeah, you don't know the person behind you, but at least you can say like, "That's such a cute dress. Where'd you get it?" And then the conversation starts, and then you just never know like where it could lead. I'm all about like being nice and extra, and and I think the people that go to my events are for the most part
Yeah.
nice, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I
they
think
see
there are.
that. I think that's what the energy that I give off that I want for people to show up like at the event, to be nice,
Hmm.
to be respectful, to just like go open minded. But literally, like we've just been getting really good feedback about how
Good.
the event makes people feel. So I really like that. And the reason that we made it a 2 day summit is because after the event, it was always like, well, what are we doing next? And I'm like, girl, I'm going to sleep. But they kept it going. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to keep it going. So that's what we're
Well,
doing.
that's amazing. Well, you're definitely a networker powerhouse. So
Thank
Congrats.
you.
So congrats on that. So if I could call you anything, that's the fuck yeah. I'm like, I don't know. I
What
don't
would you
know
call me?
anything.
What was it? A
Network
network
powerhouse.
powerhouse?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Because if anybody can do it, Yvonne can get it done. It was like, oh, I needed
Okay.
this contact. You're like, yes, let me go do what I need to go do. I'm like, oh shit, I need a rest.
No, we don't have time to rest. I mean, we rest for a little while, you know. I That's how I feel. Like I'm always resting. Feels like I'm
Yeah,
always doing something, but I'm always resting because of course we gotta like. And I always have the laptop open. I always have something
yeah.
open. But then I'm like realize like no, we do. Even though I rest, I don't rest enough, or I don't spend enough time with my family. And sometimes I feel like it. So I think that's really one of my priorities too is work, but spend time as much as my with my family as I can. So
Like a
yeah,
good Latina,
like
work and family,
work
and
and
friends a
cook,
little
work
bit.
and
Yeah.
cook, work and cook.
Okay. Bueno, Yvonne, I can sit here and we can talk fucking
I
forever. But at
know.
the end of every interview, I ask all the guests this:
But
do you consider yourself a leader? And if so, why?
I definitely consider myself a leader because I feel that one thing leaders do is put others in a position to shine and to receive their flowers, you know, while they're there. So if I could do that, I think that's what I'm doing in my community. I am empowering other women to empower their tribe, you know, because I'm not with their people and like who they're, I don't know them, but they do. And so as long as they can see that from me and know that, hey, like she's doing it, other people can too. Um, yeah, that's really my thing. Is like I want people to shine. So if I can empower other women to do that, I will, as long as I can.
Good. Holy
Yeah.
shit. I've never heard it responded like that. But thank you. Absolutely. I consider you a leader myself, which is why I invited you on here. But
Thank you.
basically, that's it. I'm gonna do another interview. We're gonna do a follow up after the conference, after the summit. We're gonna talk about the summit if
Yes.
you allow me to. But thank you,
It's gonna
Yvonne,
be
for
so good.
it
Like there's
is.
so many things that I haven't announced, and I think that I need to like hurry up and announce. But I also I know there's just so many things. Um, but overall, it's gonna be amazing. Like it's really cool. I really wish that look, it's 4:44. Um, I really wish that people come out and
Hmm.
attend and invest in themselves because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's we're investing in ourselves and our future and our network.
Hmm.
Um, and that's a big deal right there. So yeah, come on, spoil yourself. July 15th and 16th in Houston,
Get on the
Texas.
slingshots. Get all
Get on the
get
slingshot.
yes,
Drink
yes.
some bocanitas with
I'll be there,
topochico.
pero you gotta go and you gotta visit. You gotta hear, listen to the conversations, and you gotta go talk to the women. You got this. It's a
Yeah.
great place to network. It's a great place to get to know party community there in Houston. And like I said, people want to get on the nose. People want to tap into the Texas market. Sweetheart, if that's what you want to do, this is a place you need to be. So show up, buy your
Yes.
ticket, general admission, because VIP is sold out.
Sold
But
out.
well, thank you, Yvonne, for coming on here and having a
Thank you.
conversation with me. Muchas,
No, de
muchas
nada.
gracias. Can
Thank
you
you.
do me a big favor? Can you
Yeah.
just wave at your camera really quick? Bye. Bye.
Bye.